tell you from about 7 o'clock on, changing HVACs in the district, I had forgotten my phone. So I thought, Lord, made me forget my phone. So I turned around, and like I said, standing over in this heavy grass is this young lady, I'd guess 25 years old, who happened to be a nurse, who happened to have worked the night shift all night, who happened to be coming home, and who happened to have a flat tire in front of our house. So I told her, I said, sweetheart, if you don't mind, I said, if you'll pull right down there in my yard, I said, we'll get your tire changed out of mine and my son. So she pulls into the yard. Well, I lay all my stuff out, and I called my son. I said, I do need to get to work, because I really did. I said, but would you mind coming changing this tire for this young lady to help Daddy out? He said, Daddy, you know I'll be there in just a minute. Called his boss, talked to his boss, you know what was going on. He said, send him on down there. So with that being said, I walk up to this young lady, and she is just, y'all can imagine how thankful she is. I mean, here's a young lady that was stranded on the side of the road that now I'm assuming feels kind of safe because she's hearing us talk, and I'm getting out tools and whatnot. And I said, young lady, I hate that you had a flat tire today. But I am so glad that it happened at my house, and I just want you to know, I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Simple as that. Does that mean anything? I have no idea. I have no earthly idea, but I know just like John and Peter, when they walked up to this temple, and that man was laying there, that beggar was laying there, it was a divine appointment. I know for a fact that I didn't have my phone because the good Lord wanted me to turn around and go put a face to that young lady and at least say something to her. Does that make sense? On the morning that I'm supposed to be sharing this. So what do? Y'all know me pretty good. My old eyes kind of welled up. They didn't cry. They just leaked a little bit. Okay? Call me no crybaby. And I started laughing. I mean, just out boldly laughing. I said, God, you something else. I just want you to know you are something else. Because he is. He really, really is. Chance encounter, divine appointment. Now understand, this has nothing to do with me. I didn't forget my phone. God made me forget my phone. You see what I'm saying? I didn't share the gospel with this young woman. I just very simply told her I was thankful she broke down in my yard, and I hope she had a blessed day. I believe that's probably what the Lord wanted her to hear today. If not, I think I'd have my phone in my pocket. What y'all think? Chance encounter. Chance encounter. Okay? I say all that to say, how easily would that have been missed if I had had my phone? How easy would it have been? Can I put us in a very uncomfortable situation right now? What would our reaction, and I don't want to say anybody in here, just thinking about, look around the room, how many people we got in here. If we'd have walked up today and they'd have been a beggar standing at that door asking for money, how would we have felt today? If they're beggars, then obviously they're in need, okay? I mean, I have no doubt there's people across the country that are professional lawyers, but I really think most of the people that I encounter that are begging are true beggars, and I think they truly need it. There are people in this world that have hit such a rock bottom that they have no other option but then to beg. We're blessed in this. I mean, we're very blessed in this community. If something happens to one of us, this church and this community is going to take care of us. That's not the case across the country, okay? If you were to walk up and see that person, how would you feel? Would you feel uncomfortable? Probably so. I mean, I think most of us may feel uncomfortable, and I don't think that's a bad thing, okay? We can go on and talk about in Acts whenever Philip, they sent him to, God told him to just get up and go, and he did, and he happened across this Ethiopian eunuch who was a black man, who he was asked to witness to and help with, okay? I'm sure he was out of his comfort zone. I'd be willing to bet, and I don't know this to be factual, but him being a Jew living where he's at, I bet the man had never seen a black man, okay? But he was out of his comfort zone, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be, but would we walk up to this person, let's just say it's a man, and say, sir, what do you need? And he says, I need money, and say, well, I can tell you need a meal, and take him up there to get a meal? Will we say kind of what they said, I don't have any money on me, but what I do have is walk in this church and you can hear it? Would we do that? Would we grab our kids and say, Lucy, you need to go around to the side door because I don't know about this guy right here? Will we do that? Lots of different things, you see what I'm saying, that could have transpired there, but they stopped. They stopped. I talked about this the other day. How many of you, y'all ever traveled up towards Athens or up towards Milledgeville and Eaton? Up that way, any way that you have to get off 75 or get on to 16 and then get off on 129 like you're headed to Gray? I've gotten to a point, and I hate to say this, but I mean, I'm in the pulpit, I got to be honest. Well, there's times whenever I dread getting off right there because I know as soon as I hit the red light down there, if it's red, there's going to be multiple loiterers. Mr. Gary's shaking his head. He knows what I'm talking about. Walking up and down the street right there asking for stuff. Why does that make me uncomfortable? I'm not the one doing it. I'm blessed. I'm in a truck with the AC running wide open, probably listening to a podcast about fishing or dog training. See what I'm saying? Why am I uncomfortable? Most times I got a little money on me. $10 ain't going to hurt us. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand that, but at times it does. And something that I need to work on. I'm not saying you guys because I don't know your heart, I don't know your spirit, but I know it's something I need to work on. I don't need to get uncomfortable with people. I need to be prepared. I can make a card that says Hopeful Baptist Church, find somewhere in Macon and say this is the number you need to call and here's $20. God bless you. Well, he might buy alcohol with it. And he might buy drugs with it. Oh my gosh, I'm helping this. God didn't say to ask him all these things. He said to provide for him. Okay? That's a whole nother rabbit. Let me get off of that. I am so sorry. I'm acting like Clay up here, and I want to be like Clay. All right, let's read the next verse here, verse 4, because I think this one here is super, super, super important. Okay? Verse 4, Peter looked straight at him, as did John. Then Peter said, "Look at us." So the man gave them his attention, expecting to get something. Josh, I know you're a farmer. You're a busy man all day long. Mr. Reggie works for the county. I know Mr. Gary's a busy, busy man. We're busy people. We really and truly are. Are we so busy that we can't see the need? Are we so busy that we're spiritually insensitive? You see what happened here, okay? They stopped. They give this man their absolute full attention. That Bush, I'm looking at you. They stopped. They didn't say, "Hold on just 1 minute. I get to get some. Here goes your $5," and going about their business. These people stopped and spent time. And what does that tell him? They're interested. They're really, I mean, here's somebody who I can listen to and care. Same thing God told me this morning. Rodney, stop. You could call Chandler, but you need to go talk to that girl. Stop, son. You can get your job. What if I had to work 30 minutes late? Oh, be terrible, wouldn't it? Stop. I think we need to do that. Mr. Gary, I know I can pick on him a little bit today. I guarantee you Mr. Gary had a plan today because I know he's writing this big, long, huge document. And I called him this morning. I said, "Mr. Gary, I need something." So what does Mr. Gary do? He stops and does what I need. That was not in his plan today. When he was getting ready to go to work and write that big, long document, he didn't say, "I better prepare for Rodney. Man's going to waste 30 minutes of my time today." And then whenever I got there, I could see the document. I don't know what the document was. I have no idea, but I could see he had a bunch of words up on this big old computer. So I know he was busy because I could look at his face and he was looking at the computer like that. So I know he was busy. But not only did he give him what I need, we spent probably 20 minutes together discussing things. Time. Imagine if we do that to some of these people we encounter. Just stop just a minute. There's enough time in the day. I know we say there's not. There's enough time in the day. We still get our job done. And I go back to what I said a while ago about the $10. About the $85. Was it so important for me to get back in there to make that $85? Or was it important that I'm not saying I could have led this man back to church or to a church where he could have straightened out what he thinks was an experience where God saved him, which I believe, but he could really get that straightened out and learn now, God's got a plan for me. That's the reason you did that. That is way more important than me making $85. It's way more important than you having to work 30 minutes rather than get off 30 minutes late. And I'm not preaching that because some of you would do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm preaching to me because I just told y'all in my testimony sometimes I didn't do that. But they stopped right there, dead in the spot, and they spent time with this guy and they shared with him. Okay? That is absolutely amazing. Then we don't want to miss the miracle. Like I said, an absolute miracle. So the man gave him his attention, expect to get something. I should have read that along with it. But then Peter says, "Silver or gold I do not have, but what I do give you in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, get up and walk." It goes on to say that this guy got up, he rejoiced, he was bouncing around, praising Jesus Christ. So they took the time out of their busy schedule They really stopped and talked to this man. They allowed Jesus to work a miracle through them, and this man got up and walked. Well, how easy would it be to say, well, Rodney, but that's all well and good, but now Jesus can't do no healing with me. I'm going to beg to differ, okay? And I'm not saying that Josh has got the power to walk out there right now to anybody lame and say, get up and walk in the name of Jesus Christ, and that'll transpire. I don't think any of us has that power. I don't think that's the way God works to us. Now, I don't question, could he if he wanted to? I'm going to pick on Wade just a minute and Mr. Jim. Can I pick on you two guys? You don't have a choice. Now, you can give a noogie whenever I get outside. You don't have a choice right now. Last month, Mr. Jim gave his testimony at the prison. Tomorrow night, Mr. Wade's going to give his testimony at the prison. I know what Mr. Jim did, and I'm assuming Wade tomorrow night, I may be wrong, but I'm betting Wade's going to tell them what Jesus has done for him. I bet he's going to give a testimony about his life, some of his hardships, and I bet he's going to tell them what Jesus done for him. Am I correct, Wade? I figured as much. Let's say that we've got these guys in there, and there's 29 of them, and some of them are listening, some of them aren't, but there's someone that's really listening to Wade. A lot of these young men are from around the Atlanta area. So let's say 2 years from now, he's released, he goes back to Kelton. He finds himself, because it's going to be tough for these guys, because the culture and the community wants to drag them back into that stuff. That's one of the hardest things for these inmates when they get out, is those around them are going to try desperately to drag them back in. So let's say they drag him back in. 6 months later, he's sitting there in despair, and he realizes, I have got myself into this kind of situation again. And he thinks back to, I think it was 2 guys at Hopeful Baptist Church 2 or 3 years ago that told me this might happen, and told me what Jesus was going to do for them. I wonder if he'll do it for me. And let's say they go to church, or right there they give their life to Jesus Christ and ask him to heal them. Wade and Jim didn't tell them to get up and walk, but did they have a part in the hand in their healing? That's a hypothetical situation. They did. We don't know. We might can't command them to get up and walk. But what we say and what we share with other people can bring healing. It may just look a little bit different, okay? Been quite a few people talking to them. I just know this was last month and this is this month, and saying the power of what could be. Because don't think God can't turn around and use that, their testimony, and I believe he will. I don't think if in some way, shape, fashion, or form he wasn't going to use Jim or Wade, that they would be the ones that he chose and laid on their heart to go speak to them. So somewhere it's going to bring some healing to those men, okay? And isn't that a blessing? He used just old country boy like us, but he absolutely will. So in closing tonight, like I said, I just want to, I want us to think about, and this is what I ask myself, I want me to deal with people, and the people I come in contact with, I want to question myself, right? Is it a divine appointment or is it a chance encounter? Both can happen. But me personally, I don't want to miss that divine appointment. I really, really don't, because as me and Ashley was talking about, we talked about some she's missed and some I missed, and it's not a good place to be. It doesn't make you feel real good whenever you know God opened the door for you to do it and you didn't do it. Whether it was out of recklessness or whether it was out, I'm not going to do it. Either way, it's not a good situation to be in. He called us, he equipped us, and if he called us and he equipped us, he's going to give us those opportunities. We just got to understand that, okay? So with that, I'm going to close tonight. Oh, whoa. How many of y'all were here for the Sunday night that Trace preached? Did y'all hear when that Sunday night Trace preached? I want to be like Trace. Michael, can I close like Trace? That's all I got. That was so funny to me. Anyway, enjoyed getting to share with you guys tonight. Saved 2 minutes. I didn't even look at my clock. I'm doing really good. Josh, you mind dismiss us in prayer, brother? Amen.